Welcome to the Power of One. I am super excited to talk about this topic, which is hair. So, just to share a little bit, I was a bald headed little child growing up. So, all of those friends of mine from Rodney Street, look how good I look now. And I went to the hair store and got me some hair. It was on sale for $5.99, but you can't tell because I look good. But we're going to talk to Flo, who is probably the best hairstylist in the world. I know she hooks me up when I need to be hooked up. Welcome to the show, Flo.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for that wonderful
Oh, you know you good. You know every time
introduction.
I get in your chair, oh, a hairstyle, and they are the best therapists. I want to say that. So Flo has helped me through some mighty hard times. Not that I talk about my husband when I'm sitting in her chair. We're gonna talk about that. But Flo, you are awesome at what you do.
I thank you. I think you've helped me as well.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And we've even had some prayer sessions when we
Yes.
needed it, which is powerful and needed. So I thank you so much for that. And Flo and I go way back. We go elementary school?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. And I'm
Kenzie.
only 21. I don't know how old Flo is, but in reality, I'll be 53, but in my mind, I'm only 21.
It
But
was
yeah,
Kenzie.
we good. Flo, let's talk about hair care and how it differs from like person to person. And does it also differ with race also?
Well, hair care is not a one size fits all.
Okay.
It's based on the density, the porosity, elasticity, those kind of things. It doesn't have anything to do with race. It has more to do with texture, how curly, how oily, how dry. Those are the things that are important when it comes to hair care. Race has nothing to do with it at all.
Hmm, that's good to know. Now, how does one, and again, I know this may vary from person to person, how does one keep their hair healthy? So we'll talk about me. I'll be exhibit A.
Okay.
So I don't like the natural texture of my hair, and that's why I use, you'll know this, a relaxer, a perm to make it lay. But one of my downfalls is I love getting in the tub every night. And not only am I getting in the tub every night, when I tell you it's hot water, it's hot water. So the water will cool off. I'll drain it out and I'll put some even hotter water in there. And when I get out, go to sleep, mind you, it's a little damp, and I wake up and I'm like, so why does my hair look like Celie off The Color Purple? Which I don't like that texture. I want to be clear about that. So tell me how we care for our own hair.
Well, based on, like we talked about the first time, the hair texture, the density, the elasticity. The elasticity is how easy it breaks, if you can stretch it without it popping on you. The density is how much it is, and the porosity is how well it absorbs. So our hair care is based on those things, and the texture, if it's really curly, oily, and stuff like that. Um, Once again, is it that hot bath that you were just referring to? That's just drying out everything. Your skin, your hair is robbing, it's taking all of the moisture out. So it's okay to have them, but you got to be intentional to put that moisture back.
Mm,
If you're doing it every single night, that's why that'll show up with the
okay.
drying. Okay,
And
you
you
got to
said
be
it's not good for
intentional
my
in putting
body.
for your skin and your hair needs it back because you just took it all out with all of that steam, all of because we like it really, really hot, not
Hmm.
just a little hot. We like it really, really hot. You just took off all the moisture. Now you got to be intentional about putting it back in.
Now, so we'll talk about the skin. How does eating healthy play a part in keeping your hair healthy?
Well, of course, good health promotes good hair. And if your health is well, your skin is well. And if your skin is well, your hair is well. So all of those kind of play a part. So to have healthy hair, you need a good balanced diet. You need to customize a care routine just for your hair texture. And you need to be drinking plenty of water and those kind of things. Those things are important. So your health is always important because if you have a deficiency or any of those things, that'll show up in your hair.
Mm, mm-hmm. Okay. And speaking on that, if someone is suffering from health issues, it can affect their hair.
Yes. Yes. It will affect the hair in ways that uh it will stunt. So hair growth has three stages. Anagen, catagen, and telogen. Telogen is that stage where it ceases for a minute. If you have a deficiency, you'll stick in that stage longer. You'll be there longer. So you know how you hear people say, "My hair won't go past here."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're in that telogen stage. And sometimes the deficiency, like an iron deficiency or something of that nature, will cause you to stay there. You won't get past that until you address that deficiency. And that will promote good health and healthy hair. Not to mention looking like you living your best life.
Yeah, like I look right now. Okay. Yeah. And I want to say, look, this was on sale at the hair store for $5.99. I said, "Ooh, I look so cute today."
You're
So
supposed to let other people give you the compliment, mommy.
just saying, just saying. And look, there's another thing. We'll go off for a little bit. I really think my husband wanted a light skinned woman with the long hair. That's never been me, Flo. I always rocked a short cut. I think short cuts are sexy. So I said, you know what? Well, because I am halfway a submissive wife, how about I'm gonna rock this side for me, and I'm gonna rock this side for him. And I think we're both satisfied. So
You're
really,
both happy. I love it.
we both happy, yeah. And he sleeps on this side, so he's good. So sometimes I fling it every now and then, like while we watching TV. So I think he's happy. So I will say this. So like in the '80s when weaves and yeah, I guess weaves and extensions were popular. I guess it was the '80s or the '90s. My best friend, when I tell you she had her joint stacked and it was like up here, like how they used to curl like the salt and pepper. I was too afraid to do that, dad's a pair, so I didn't want to put anything phony in my hair. I used to hear women talk about the glue took my hair out or braids took my hair out. Is that actually true in putting glue and laying tracks in your hair that it will damage your hair?
Well, like we say about our health, moderation is good. So too much of anything is not good. So
Okay.
if you're getting tracks consistently all the time and that's all you're doing and you putting it in and taking it out wrong, yes, it's gonna damage your hair. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Anything that we do to our hair, we should make sure that we're doing in moderation, whether that's heat, chemicals, add in any of it. It is too much is not good. So
Okay.
moderation is important. That's the only thing that can promote healthy hair without your diet, your good regimen for caring for it, and just being mindful of what your hair type is and taking care of it in that facet.
I was really shocked to find out that other races, I thought it was just African American women that had tracks or add-ons in their hair. I was really shocked to find out it was other races that did it also.
Well, that's a myth that only women of color do anything. We didn't start it. So
Wow.
it came out way before us. It's just other, I want to say, methods that we might lean towards a little more. So that's all we just lean to different methods of hair extensions, but hair extensions have been out and still are very popular. They're still very popular. They just don't do as much glue because so
Mm,
many people have had so many um bad results to it.
okay.
Like anything that you put in your hair, you need to do a patch test. You need to see you might be
Mhm.
allergic to it. You might have a reaction to it. That
Okay.
might be the reason why people's edges just came out or their hair.
Mm,
Or a lot of people was putting them in and taking them out wrong. Just snatching something out of your hair, that's not healthy. That's
mm,
not healthy no matter what you do. So just like it was a method to put it in, is a method to take it out. And
okay.
that's what I witnessed. A lot of people was just taking them out however they felt like. And that's
And
why
that
it
damaged
was
their
coming
hair.
out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And actually, I want to back up a little bit. I would love for you to share with the viewers how you got started
Okay.
and what you do, used to do. She still does it for people that she loves, like me. So, how did you get started? And then tell us your history. Let's walk us through the timeline and all of the amazing things you've done.
Well, I thank you. Like I stated on my first interview, I believe, with you, instead of planning for college at 18, I went to trade school, because I became what I call a kinship parent to two nephews and one niece, straight out of high school. So I decided to go to trade school so I could raise these children and have make some money. So I went to trade school, and for me, it was all or none. So I went to trade school to become an instructor. So I did the cosmetology, and after cosmetology, I did the course to become an instructor, cosmetology instructor. And that's what I did for about 30 years.
Mm,
And it was really, really good to me. It I raised both of my children basically off of that income between being an instructor at the beauty schools,
mm-hmm.
doing hair behind the chair, and even owning my own salon. I've done a little
Okay.
bit of everything, in those years of working in the field. I went to school after my last child I went back to school after my last child went to high school. And I went and got my bachelor's in social work, and I have a bachelor's in behavioral health.
Okay.
And now I'm a social worker. I still do cosmetology as an entrepreneur for
Mhm.
myself, but my full-time job is a social worker.
Okay. Okay. And in all of the years that you've been in cosmetology, what made you want to do the career change?
Well, I've always wanted to uh, become a therapist more than a social worker. I've always
Okay.
wanted to become a therapist. So, like we discussed earlier, we get some of the best conversations, some of the best sessions in the salon, in the chair. And I've always took the time to listen, and it's always been an opportunity to pray for people. And that was just something that was always in me, and I always wanted to do it, but I never thought it was the time for that. Like I said, straight out of high school, when people were planning for college, I was planning to become a stepmom.
Mm,
So I couldn't
yeah.
see past what I was doing at the time, that I couldn't see how I could fit college in. But
Mm,
later on when I became an empty nester, I'm like, it's my time.
right. Right. Now, you owned your own salon.
Yes.
Did you just do hair for African American women? Did you do men? Did you do other races?
So honestly, I went to the school when I went to cosmetology school. Growing up, I was always very serious, so I'm about my business. So I went to the school where none of my friends went to. Everybody was
Oh,
going to cosmetology school. So, quote unquote, the black schools I didn't go to. I
okay.
went to the school where everybody was Caucasian, and I was the only token in the building. I did
Mm,
that so I could go to school and take care of these children. I didn't have time to get into any groups, any clusters, any foolishness. I had to get what I was going for and go back home. So I remember going to that school and everybody would ask me, how are you getting taught what we do? When the foundation is the foundation, what
Mm,
you practice is what you practice. So when you have a sound, firm foundation, you can build whatever you want on top of that. And that's exactly what I got. I got the foundation, but I practice on people that look like me. So that's
okay.
why it was, it all worked out. So when I owned my own salon, most of the people, yes, were Black and brown people. We also did I also am a barber. I like to cut hair, men's hair as well. I had a unisex salon. It was a hair salon and a barber shop. But that was basically all I did was deal with hair.
And you said that, like you just said, it doesn't matter what race you are, the foundation is the foundation. Hair is hair.
Yes, hair is hair. Textures are different. Textures, density, the curl patterns, they're different. Nationalities don't matter.
Mm,
If
okay.
you can cut a head, you can cut a head no matter what texture it is. It's just a different technique for each texture. I've had people in my chair that had straighter hair, um, and they were of color than some Caucasians I know. And
Okay.
I've had some Caucasians in my chair that has curlier hair than me. So it
Okay.
has nothing to do with race. It's all about the foundation, the texture, the density, the elasticity. Those are the important things, not race.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about menopause.
Okay.
So menopause can, as you know, do a number on a female.
Right.
Your hair can actually thin or come out during menopause. Is there a way to prevent that or treat that?
No, not really.
Okay, you know I ain't like
Unfortunately,
that answer, right?
unfortunately, due to the declining of the lack of estrogen, which is the hormone that promotes growth of hair, that's just what we deal with. You can still maintain healthy hair and go through menopause, but you are going to deal with some side effects dealing with menopause, whether it's thinning of hair, um, your hair graying, getting all gray like mine, dryness. A lot of people, they textures change. All of those things happen with menopause. Now, menopause don't mean it's the end of the world. Like you can still
Right.
have a healthy head of hair. It's just that you're going to have to deal with some of the side effects because your body has no longer produces that estrogen like it did when you weren't through menopause. So for me, the crown of my hair is thinner than any part of my head. So
Was
you
that
would
because of
think the back of
menopause
my
or
hair is thick. Back of my hair is thick and I can't run my fingers through it. That's how thick it is. The front, I can run my fingers through it so fast, so easily, but that's how it is there for menopause. Before I was
oh,
going through menopause, I didn't have that problem.
okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, mine is just it's just weird. So and then I'm like, okay, I
Textures
don't
change, everything changes. I
when the
have two
menopause.
different textures. One is because it's thinner, it's straighter up here. Back here is not so straight.
Mm. And what about this beard that I'm about to grow? Is that all like I'm just this is just not cute
Yes,
anymore. You know what I
yes.
mean?
That's
It's
a
like,
that's another thing. Unfortunately, but fortunately, we grow less facial hair than men, so they get it around the ears, it be coming out their nose. So we do
yeah.
get it. We do get it, unfortunately, but
Yeah,
not
I
as
know.
serious as they do. So they lose it up here, but they gain it around the ears, around their nose. We gain facial hair. So I just make sure that I check my face every day before I leave the house to make sure I ain't got no new ones
Yeah,
growing.
I'm like this, it's just like, oh, okay. Oh, I think I just plucked one, but okay. Okay. So dry hair and dandruff. Again, is that based on the type of hair or how do we treat the dryness? And that means that it's robbed of its moisture?
So you could be speaking of two different things. The hair dry and the scalp dry is totally different. So
Oh,
dandruff comes from the scalp, and the dryness is the hair. The how it feels, how you can't run your hair, you get
mhm.
your hair get stuck. That's dry hair. So they're two different things. So a dandruff situation in the scalp, it can be something as far as a medical concern or a product overbuild. Like you got too much gel, too much hairspray, too much of those products are building up on your scalp and it's causing this flaking. But a person generally knows how serious their dandruff is. If they have eczema or if they have some kind of situation that they need medication for, or is it just a product overbuild? If it's just a product overbuild, you just need a clarifying shampoo to get all of that stuff out your hair. It's gonna feel, how you wash something and it feels so clean, it just is you just can run through it. That's how your hair would feel if you had a whole lot of buildup and you use the clarifying shampoo. It would just strip all of that stuff out. But you don't want to use the clarifying shampoo if you don't need it because it's going to make your hair dry. So that's different from hair being dry. Now, your hair being dry is two things you need to do. Listen to it when it's asking for moisture and give it to it. The other thing you might need to do is drink some water. You may need to consider getting your ends trimmed. It's depending on how bad it is. Everything don't need to be cut, but some
Okay.
stuff needs to be cut. If you see it going all which ways, going all different direction, that probably needs to go.
Okay.
So when I treat dry hair, that's a product. Try scalp. That's either a medication shampoo or a clarifying shampoo. All right. If I was treating dry hair, I wouldn't use clarifying shampoo. I would use a moisturizer because the hair is dry and it's asking you for moisture. If you could see it, you could feel it. It's telling you, hey, I need some moisture over here.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever made any of your own hair care products?
I currently still do. I have never tried to put anything on the market. I'm
Mhm.
very much a natural girl. The pandemic has done me wonders. I came away from all chemicals, no relaxers, no hair color. I don't do any of them anymore. Um, I think it's such a blessing. Between that and the Crown Act, those two things have blessed me so much. Um, you know, being raised in the era that I was raised in, we was always taught that how you looked represented you. You represent your family.
Mhm.
So I always wanted my hair to be just right. Everything had to be just right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But after the Crown Act and they're passing that law of being able to accept what's growing out of your head
Right.
and embracing that, girl, that was just the best thing ever. I
Mm.
had to go through the extreme of shaving all of my hair off and starting
Mm.
all over because
Wow.
it was such a every time I try to wear my hair, it was too short, it was too this. I had all this stuff in my head, and it was just
Mhm.
me because of how I was raised, how I grew up. Everything had to
Mhm.
be just perfect. So I know it was a brainwashing thing, and
Yeah.
I've been in the
Yeah.
field for so long. So I was
Mhm.
doing it all. I was frying, dyeing, and laying my hair to the side. I was doing it all. But
Okay. Stop. 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 Stop talking about me, Fluff. Don't do that. I told you I look cute this show. Yeah.
you
And you know
do
what?
always look cute.
And I get it. And society has done a number on us. I
Yes,
will say that. Yes, we're
yes.
very self-conscious. We second guess ourselves. Do we look good? Don't we look good? You know what I mean? We do. We do.
hmm
We do.
So I'm grateful for that. I'm really grateful for the change that has caused during the pandemic. Um, So now my regimen, most of the stuff I do, even though that has changed as well, some of the stuff that we eat
Mm-hmm.
is so based on preserving it. They put so much
Mm-hmm.
in the preserving, but that's what
Yeah.
I use a lot of that stuff on my hair. Like I
Okay.
love avocados. When my avocados start to get brown, I start making a hair mask for
Okay.
my avocados. Like everything is natural for me. Everything.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. What a fun show. You know, the work I do is heavy, the work you do is heavy. So it's good to just laugh and joke for a little while. So I want to thank you so much for joining me.
I thank you for having me. It's always good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, this show again is dedicated to my Rodney Street family: Sean, Sheldon, Kel, Camille, Nikki. Y'all call me everything from bald headed eagle to whatever you can think of. But we all are our own person and we will embrace who we are. I thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to laugh at yourself and have fun. Peace and love.